Hi, this is Grant Putnam Landscaping. Vanny, I just met with you at your house here in Westport. We had a chance to walk around and take a look at everything. So now I'm just going to kind of walk through some of the items we spoke about. And this way you and your husband can take a look at it when I send you the quote. So the first thing that we chatted about was the issue with these hemlock trees that have been hacked down by the power company. All right. So the thought would be is you have 96 linear feet from the first tree here to the last tree that's bordering the neighbor's lawn. It's 96 linear feet. All right, so that would be the area that we're trying to cover. And because it is the street, we do want to get some privacy from the street, both from light from the cars at nighttime, as well as sound. So what we want to do is choose trees that are not going to grow too tall into the power lines. So I'm going to give you a few suggestions and options with different sizes. This way you can pick and choose what you think makes the most sense for you. So what I would say is we want to plant the trees on this side of the power lines. So then when you do go to sell the house years from now, they're not going to be able to see the power lines when they're spending time in the front yard. All right, the other thing we chatted about was potentially adding some color with plants or small perennials along the inside of these trees, as well as the opposite side of the trees, the street side, adding some color on that side as well, with the additional thought of reducing the amount of the width of this planting bed, because right now, you know, it seems excessively large. So what we want to do is make this planting bed a little bit narrower, and hence add more lawn to the street side of the trees. So you'd remove some of the mulch area and add more lawn on the street side of the trees. Okay, so these are snow fountain weeping cherries, and these shouldn't be pruned straight like this. They should be pruned more natural, and they should be let to grow a little bit lower towards the ground, because these are trimmed right now like an umbrella. So you got to keep them more natural form. Plus these need to be treated systemically in the spring to prevent borers insect, which kills them quite rapidly. So this is a common issue we see, borers insect. So we want to avoid that, and we can treat these trees the same time we treat any American boxwood, which are those on your property, because they both get treated with the same treatment, okay, in the early spring. Then the front of the house, which is the front foundation over here, right now we're going to start from almost a clean slate. So we know we need to put in tall enough shrubs to block the air conditioning units. We need different heights, and we want more of a clean, cohesive feel. So I'm going to send you over a library of conceptual images for you to choose from, so we're both on the same wavelength in regards to the style of landscaping that you're looking for. And then from there we can draft a CAD drawing, which is like looking down in a survey. I'll send you an example of a CAD drawing on the email when I send you the quote. Okay, so this is the second area we talked about, landscaping. Then we were chatting about the Pachysandra. And with the Pachysandra, the issue is it's a breeding ground for ticks. The advantage is it cuts all your weeding out, so you reduce the number of hours for weeding, and it stays green during the winter. Whereas most other colorful perennials would lose their color during the winter. So this could be a kind of an optional item that if you decide to remove it, you could add in colorful perennials, or you could just leave it alone. All right. You do have 5 hydrangea macrophylla, also called mophead hydrangeas, which are these guys in here, that you could transplant elsewhere. They're only about 24 inches tall right now. There's actually 3 more down there, so that's 8 total. So 3 over there and then 5 over here. So these I'd move in a different location when they get more sunlight. So this is, just so you understand, this is a paniculata hydrangea. The same thing, there's all different types of paniculata hydrangea. This one is meant to grow quite tall, but there's different ones that stay more dwarf. And this will bloom every single year because it blooms on new buds, whereas macrophylla hydrangea, which is underneath here, will only bloom about half the years because they bloom on last year's buds. So there's different families and different types of hydrangea. Some bloom every year, some only bloom about half the years. Okay, this is climbing hydrangea, and I think it's fine where it's located. I'm not sure if it's necessarily going to grow down on the back side of your wall here, but I think it's still pretty where it's located, so I leave that where it is. The birch trees, there's about, 10 birch trees right here. These all need to be trimmed back this year. All right, so shaped and trimmed back. We talked about potentially covering this with either bluestone or some mulch. And you've got 2 crabapple trees. Here, and there's actually one big one in the back there. So there's 3 crabapple trees in the property, and these need to be treated for apple rust. That one has a disease, this one actually is clean, doesn't. So maybe they sprayed it too late when they sprayed it. This is a spruce tree. When you're trimming the birch trees, I'd also prune this tree as well, this spruce tree, so it doesn't grow too wide and take away your lawn. The bloodgood maple tree is dead, so that's gonna have to be replaced with another tree. Then you've got some PJM rhododendrons, small leaf rhododendron. These also potentially get moved or transplanted. I would remove the large leaf rhododendron here, remove that because I think that's an eyesore. And then rethink of the plantings in this area so you can add a lot of color. And I would say you could do 2 layers of plantings in this area to make this area really beautiful, because this is a real focal point when you're spending time around the pool looking towards this area, okay? And you got 2 hydrangeas you could also transplant in this area as well. And these are serrata hydrangeas, but those also bloom on last year's buds, so I wouldn't put them in a prime area. Then I would prune back these 2 dogwood trees here, because again, they're gonna keep on getting big and overgrown, so these gotta be pruned back. I would prune back a little bit these 2 Yoshino cryptomerias, one here, one here. And then I would transplant 1, 2, 3, 4 hydrangeas elsewhere. These are the same ones that were located under the trees, called mophead hydrangeas. And as you'll notice, have very few flowers. So I would put in a different type of hydrangea in this area that guarantees the flower. So these are oak leaf hydrangeas back here. That's what you have back there, but these need better proper pruning. 2 more macrophylla hydrangeas, which probably could be transplanted. Okay. And then I would fill this area in with other shade-loving perennials and shrubs in this area. So this is another 25 feet of fill-in. Over here, you've got some understory